Is it really that much of a good day? Another tournament, another time Italy fails to qualify at the San Siro. I mean, do you consider the Nations League that much of a tournament?
Well, it's good to get, experience. I mean, especially with the young squad that Italy does have now, I think it's good for experience. It gets them into like a tournament vibe, and unfortunately, they're going home, but I think it was good experience.
Gianni, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Hold on, mate. I think my right headphone's not working over here. But
it means you have to talk into the mic.
But I am talking into the mic.
Not from the side.
But I am talking into the mic. How dare you? Honestly, it doesn't mean much, but it's still something that gets the fans excited. It gets them hyped up for, and it's great to see a nice demonstration of what type of team we can field and pretty much see the talent that we have on our roster. And we did put pretty much our best lineup on Saturday, so it was great to see that with their best lineup, they can be dangerous, but not dangerous enough, unfortunately.
So this is what Italy's 0-0 draw to Portugal sounded like.
Shoot is the cry. Oh, Patricio makes half a save. And West over the bar. Well, Insigne created the opportunity. Immobile failing to follow up. Here goes Immobile again. Can he test the injured goalkeeper? Cavallo comes back. At the moment, they're kept in their own half. It's another little tester there as Florenzi fires one in. Verratti, what a brilliant ball through. Patricio comes and makes a tremendous save from Immobile. So, West in there. Oh, so very, very close. Well, Bonucci was there. And he's been getting booed from the Italian supporters this evening. Almost had them cheering his name. He beat the defenders. Oh, brilliant ball from Verratti. Been around. Yeah, that isn't. Well, same old story. Portugal getting bodies in the way. So this clearance from Bonucci goes to Cavallo, and Donnarumma gets his second touch of the game with his hands in the 76th minute. His first save of the night.
Missed chance after missed chance. I think you could say that was the storyline of the game, at least for Italy in the first half. I mean, what went wrong?
Not finishing, man. It's we've been saying this the past couple of episodes with when we've spoken about Italy, that their attack is lacking. They can't finish. They can create, which is a positive, but they can't execute, they can't finish. They're not dangerous enough in front of goal, and that's how they suffer. So unfortunately, I don't know, Immobile, he can score in the league, but he can't score when he puts on the national jersey. But it's unfortunate because I think they could have gotten a result in the game, but they fell short.
Just to give numbers here, according to some websites that I was looking at, just to get more accurate numbers, Italy had 15 shots, only 3 were on target, it's a terrible shooting percentage, even for soccer. So, Adri said it perfectly. You need to capitalize on your chances, and if you're not putting that ball at least on the keeper, making him try to fight for that save, then you're not going to be building any confidence for your forwards, and you're not going to be able to get those results in later games.
I really don't like how the way Ciro Immobile played. You know, he's the type of guy, we talk about him every other week, how good he is for Lazio. He's so lethal in the box. I said it last week, how lethal in the box he was.
Yeah.
And then he looked like he played U7 soccer.
He
looked like he played U7 against Portugal.
Yeah.
And then the fact that Lasagna came on, do we really have no strikers after Immobile? Is it that big of a problem, or you're not going to call it Belotti, you're not going to call it Balotelli? You know, you're going to bring on Kevin Lasagna?
It's sad that we have to fall on him, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty much Mancini is going Immobile or die, but unfortunately they're not getting the positive results with Immobile in. As much as I do like Immobile as a striker, as a player in general, he's just not doing it for Italy, and it's depressing. Like, going back to stats, they had 69% possession against Portugal. They dominated that first half. They had chances, but you got to put it in the back of the net to win games. You can't depend on these defensive showings. You got to attack and you got to score. So unfortunately, they couldn't do that.
I feel like as if that Immobile is playing with a monkey on his back. I don't want to bash the guy because when he's on, and he's great.
Yeah,
he's an extremely talented striker, and when he has those goal scoring opportunities, he usually capitalizes on them. And right now, I guess he's just been on a very terrible spell. I haven't given up on him yet. I still have faith in the guy. I think he can still show the world that when he plays on the national team, he's not a guy who goes quiet. He's a guy who was able to have that trust in him to score those goals. So I'm still going to give him a bit of a benefit of a doubt, but my patience is wearing thin on him in terms of national team play.
Absolutely.
What do you think Italy has to do to fix this scoring problem? I mean, it's been okay. So Nations League, they scored 2 goals, one on a penalty, one on a corner kick.
Yeah.
They had trouble scoring against Sweden a year ago.
Don't get me started on that.
We talked about that last week.
Check that out.
What do they have to do?
Well, I mean, if you saw the game, basically the midfield was much better, and even the defense got involved in the offensive play. So it's not the issue is not there in terms of offense. The issue is our actual forwards themselves. They're just, I don't know if they're not individual. That's the weird thing. It's they're passing the ball around. They're generating the plays. It's a really hard thing to fix right now in my eyes, because you can't determine where the issue lies. We know that goal scoring is the issue. We don't have a guy who puts it in the net, but if we don't try out, let's say, Immobile, then we put on Belotti's not going to score. It's Balotelli doesn't score. It's okay, then who are we going to put in the middle to actually score those goals? It's hard.
Yeah, it is. It's tough because we don't know what's lacking. We know, as Gianni said, we know it's an attack thing, goal scoring thing. But I don't know what else you can do when you take one of the better strikers in the Serie A and try to play him, for the national team, and he doesn't produce. That might be a mentality thing. I don't know what it is, but it's tough. These forwards, they're all magical. They all can do wonders in front of goal, but unfortunately, I don't know. They get a little scared. I don't know what it is when they put the Italy jersey on, but it's definitely tough to watch, and I would hope that they can turn things around.
Adriano, I know you get angry when your Italian accent comes out.
Yo, what are you trying to say?
You got angry there. Your accent came out.
No, well, I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one, feeling this way or thinking this way. Anybody who watches Italy, who loves Italy, can probably vouch for me. But it is what it is, and it's very tough to watch. This is the Calcio guys with Adreano Di Nardo, Gianni, Delli, and myself, Nicholas Di Giovanni. So we got a huge rant. I mean, a lot to talk about the Portugal game. Francesco Alberga is here later to talk about Inter. Yeah. We finally have an Interista on. I think it's about time. Yeah, we spoke before. He's good that I'm a Milan fan, so we're good. They signed a peace treaty before we brought him on. Yeah, so we should be good. We should be good. So looking at this Italian midfield, I mean, Verratti, I was really impressed with him. Yeah. You know what? He was one player who kind of shied away from the national team for quite a few years, always faking those injuries. You were very critical of him. I was, and I'm not going to hide behind that fact. I was critical of him because of that. It's as if PSG didn't want him to play for the national team. He wasn't himself when he played for them, and now he's finally that Marco Verratti that they needed. He's that box-to-box guy. He's the one creating plays. And playing with Barella in that midfield, wow. And Jorginho, too. They look fantastic. This midfield, you know what? Give them credit. They played really well on Saturday. I agree. I think we were all, well, I mean, at least myself and Nicholas were pretty, critical, judgmental about Italy's midfield. I think Gianni was had the only positive things to say about the midfield where we thought we had issues. I was so hyped for Jorginho Verratti. You guys kept on shooting it down. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy, and I'm surprised that they're meshing quite well, and they've been kind of the highlights of the team alongside the defense have done pretty well, I guess, too. But going back, it's definitely an attack thing. But going to the midfield, I like Barella. I like that he's getting in there. He's a young kid. He's promising. He needs these experiences, and it's good to see him out there with the likes of Jorginho and Verratti. Yeah, if I may add, that's a great thing to touch upon. I think right now a person that we're not talking about enough is Barella, and he's great. It's like I'm starting to have more faith. I trust him when he's on. I don't feel concerned that the left side is uncovered if he's on. He does a great job. So I think we should be talking about him a bit more in the sense of giving him more credit because the guy's great. There were times on Saturday where I felt like Barella was just lacking confidence just a bit, where he was kind of second guessing himself. But you know what? That's not a bad thing. He needs to grow. He needs to make the mistakes. There was times where, especially at the beginning, he was trying to go for the shots and he missed shots, high and wide, and it's okay. And then later on, he kind of backed off of those shots. You know what? That's what the Nations League is for. That's what a friendly against USA Today is for. And he's in that starting 11, and he did look real good. He's just a player Italians have to be excited about in general. I agree. Obviously, playing in Cagliari, he's not talked about enough. But he has to be up there as not only one of the top promising midfielders, as one of the top midfielders in Italian football right now. For sure. You said it very well. I mean, I think now that he's kind of becoming more, prominent, and he's been talked about a bit more, people are starting to see how good he actually can be. But again, I like these, as you said before, these. Do you think these like Nations League is important? I do think it's important. Perfect example, Barella. He's getting these experiences on the international stage where it counts a lot for in the future. So it's good.
You're listening to the Calcio guys on CGO 1690.
Palla tagliata per Boccanegra che non arriva liscio. Autogol di Zaccardo. Incredibile pareggio degli Stati Uniti.
That was Italy-USA back in 2006, June 17th, 2006 to be exact.
Yeah.
Gianni, you remember what we were doing on that day?
Yeah, we had a wedding that day.
Yeah, exactly. And we watched that game together between the church and the hall.
This is going back all the way to episode 1, I think, when we brought this all up. So.
Was that the last time Italy actually played USA?
No, they played each other, I think, 2 times since. So today is actually only the 8th time they play each other.
Okay.
Wow.
The last time they played each other was in 2012 in a friendly.
Oh, yeah.
The USA won. And before that, Italy beat the U.S. 3-1 in the Confederations Cup of 2009.
Oh, yes, I remember
when
that.
Pepe Rossi scored twice.
Okay.
Il Americano
Yeah.
scored.
Didn't Giovinco also get a goal that game? Or
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, it was Rossi. It was
Giuseppe Rossi.
Yeah, Rossi scored.
Good for him.
So they play at 2:45. Going back to the national team, have you guys had a chance to look at the starting 11 for today?
Well, I didn't have a chance because I was trying to find it before the show, but I couldn't seem to find it on Twitter or on Google. It was all probable lineups, so I didn't want to write it down and then say something that wasn't true.
So here it is. So for Italy, they're going for a 4-3-3. So like
Standard.
Yeah,
Typical,
like they have been doing under Roberto Mancini. Salvatore Sirigu gets a start in net.
Okay.
Francesco Acerbi, Leo Bonucci on the back end. Emerson on the left side of the back end. Matteo De Sciglio is a right back. Midfield, one change. Sensi comes in for Jorginho. And then obviously Verratti and Barella. Up front, Berardi starts on the left side. Chiesa on the right. And then Kevin, a piece of lasagna, right as striker.
Wow.
I would rather a much younger lineup. Well, not younger. I mean, I would rather much inexperienced lineup versus USA right now just to see, because it is a friendly, but it's an even bigger friendly. Not bigger in the sense that, like Portugal, Italy, it's a Nations League game, so there's something to it, right? Even though it's a friendly, there's something attached to it. Where this is just a friendly in its purest form, which is about experimentation. So I'm not super excited about
experimentation. Is that a word?
Yeah,
and Saint Michel it is. I don't know.
I think experimentation is a word.
Okay.
Stop saying it just in case.
No, but in all seriousness, I would rather see a lineup that we can actually see some newer faces, give it a shot, and see what they can provide for the national team. Mind you, there are some, but a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I would have liked, instead of maybe lasagna, I would have liked maybe Pavoletti up top, just to get him going. I don't know. We need, as we said, attack, so he can always be an option and on the bench. And with experimenting, things. I don't know. Maybe put the 18-year-old Tonali, give him a shot. I don't know. You never know what you can get out of a young kid like that. He might prove wonders. So it's good. I don't know. The lineup, the defense. I don't know. Acerbi, so. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Emerson either. But I don't know. I didn't expect much from this game, anyways, as it's just a friendly. They seem like they're taking it, I don't know, kind of lightly. I don't know, but USA could probably give them a run for their money. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get a result against USA, but I would definitely like for them to do so.
Well, USA is another team that they missed out on the World Cup, and they're going through kind of rebuilding phase themselves. Yeah. A lot of their older guys aren't playing. They have, Tyler Adams is I think a 21-year-old as their defensive midfielder. They're actually going for a 3-1-4-2 formation.
Okay.
So an ultra rare 3-1-4-2. Pulisic is up front. A lot of guys, Marquis Delgado is in the midfield. A lot of guys that these aren't household names, at least for soccer fans in North America like ourselves. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Good for them. They gotta start rebuilding. Brad Guzan is their normal number one goalie. He's actually on the bench. So it's gonna be a chance for both coaches to experiment. And actually, on the Italian bench, Moise Kean is there.
Is he there?
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay.
That's actually a shocker.
I didn't even see that.
I'm really
so-
happy about that. Hopefully he gets some playing time, probably like 30 minutes, probably 35 minutes, probably comes on in 65th.
Yeah, if you look at this, if you look at Italy's bench, a lot of young guys. Gianluca Mancini, Berardi, Gagliardini, Leonardo Pavoletti, Vincenzo Grifo, Alessio Cragno, Daniele Rugani, Sandro Tonali, Moise Kean, Matteo Politano, and Gigio Donnarumma. So
Wow.
that bench, you know what? I like the bench better than the starting 11.
Yeah, they should definitely have switched that around. I don't know.
What are some things you hope to see Italy accomplish out of this game besides the result?
Putting the ball in the back of the net. Very, very simple.
Finding probably somebody to be the solution for the goal scoring is a big thing. Another thing that I really wanted to mention was something along the lines of testing out the younger defensemen, because especially to prep them for the bigger stages. Because our backline is not getting any younger, and I think Chiellini said it himself recently. That's something along. I saw a quotation and I completely forgot what it was, but it was something along the lines of "My time is limited" or something. It was something.
Who is this, Chiellini?
Chiellini, yeah,
He's not wrong. So.
and he's not wrong. You're completely right. It's pretty soon we're not gonna have guys that we can have confidence in on the back. So, and especially that defense takes a lot longer to develop and a lot longer to gain stability. You need to start getting that rotation going, and start getting younger kids in.
Well, at least Chiellini said something of substance, not like Leo Bonucci. Did you guys see what he said?
Yeah.
I'm not going to repeat it. You know,
talks all kinds
not
of junk.
not
Yeah.
appropriate for radio, but that guy likes to talk for a
likes
guy
to
who
talk.
shouldn't be talking, and
And
that's
then
coming from Juve fan. And I have a Leo Bonucci Italy jersey at home. You know, so.
Yeah. But yeah, he apparently I think he apologized. I don't know.
See what happens when you play one season at AC Milan? You just
It changes everything.
So speaking of Milan,
Yeah.
injuries, and more injuries. So Alessio Romagnoli, the latest victim of the injury bug in Milan,
Yeah.
and this is thanks to the national team. And you know what? These national team games, they create a lot of problems for clubs. And you know, there's always been talk. What's the point of these international breaks? There's a lot of injuries. Juve, their midfield, they're gonna have no midfield. They're gonna have to play a 5-4-2 eventually. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. They're not gonna have to play any more midfielders. Pjanic got hurt. Kadir is hurt. Chan is hurt. Who do you have left? You know, same thing with Milan.
Yeah, they too many injuries. I don't know.
so you're telling me Napoli has a chance? Now?
No, not at all.
Yeah, no.
Pescara has a better chance to win the Serie A than Napoli.
Wow! I should just kick you from like this side of the desk.
No, but you're definitely right. For the injuries, it's so depressing, man. Like, especially how these guys are making peace over here. But no, going back to, I guess, injuries, it's just sad to see. It's like one injury after another, and you know, Gattuso really has to, you know, work things out. Formation-wise, who knows? They have three of their top center backs out in Romagnoli, Cadara, and Musacchio. So they're gonna have to, you know, depend on Zapata and God knows who. I honestly have no idea. Bonaventura, now I just heard he's out for this season with his injury. Çalhanoğlu, apparently, I don't know, with Turkey, as you said, national team games, whatever, got up to him too, and he's shaky.
Didn't he go back to his family or something? Or?
Yeah, that's another thing. He's got a mess, I don't know, with his personal things, and he's kind of bringing it into the pitch, and it just, I don't know, it's just a mess over there. Higuain, obviously, with the red card, he's out for 2 games. Cutrone, not 100%. It's a lackluster lineup, hope, I guess, for that Lazio game for Milan, but
just to give like people like an idea for whoever's listening, Bonaventura is out till April, Biglia till February, Caldara till February, Musacchio till January, and then you got the newest additions in Romagnoli, Çalhanoğlu, and Strinic.
Yeah,
Strinic has been out since the beginning of the season, unfortunately.
Yeah, Conti too, another one.
Conti's been out pretty much since they acquired him. Has he played a game for Milan?
When they first got him, I think like preseason, I think he might have hit the field once or twice, but after that he's been like out. I don't know, these guys with the other teams, they have no injuries, they come to Milan, they have injuries. Him, Caldara, I don't understand.
I don't know, maybe they need to fix a solution at Milanello.
Yeah, no,
that state of the art training facility, the whole doctor's room, they need to fix something.
They do.
And you know what, speaking about these international breaks, is there a solution that would allow the national teams to play during the season, but then minimize injuries?
Well, I mean, that's hard to say. You can't. It's hard to minimize injuries when you're playing a sport. Especially when you give it your all. You never know what could happen. I don't know. Maybe it's the medical teams that need improving. I don't know, but I don't know what the solution could be to minimize injuries when you're playing the sport that you love and things happen. So it's definitely I don't know.
The big issue is time management and actually finding time where multiple leagues can actually dedicate a certain small fraction of time where they can both have teams to present to play against each other. And
that's fair.
And you can't find any other time besides maybe the summer when you have the off season, but then in the summer you have the international competitions.
Yeah, I would like to see, maybe almost a month break.
Like a break, yeah.
In December. That there could just be international play. Just load it up at once, schedule the club seasons around that. The club football in December, for certain leagues it's the downtime, for certain leagues it's the uptime. So Italy, it used to be the downtime. And now they're going to be more like England where it's going to be the uptime, Boxing Day. They're adding that Boxing Day game. But regardless, I'd like to see maybe in December just a break. All the big leagues allow the national teams to play instead of having a break in September, a break in October, a break in November, and a break in March.
It's too much.
But the thing is, are you talking in terms of just friendlies or also qualification games?
Qualifications.
Okay, so
Screw
now
the friendlies. You know what?
Okay.
No use of friendlies. Straight up.
I disagree. You need to have friendlies. You need to test out the waters before you actually go diving in them. And I mean,
it's a great analogy.
And second point, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, right?
Yeah.
What if, for example, your national team, right? A lot of their best players are under an injury spell, and you only have that 1 month to qualify, and you miss out on an international competition because maybe your top 3 best players have an injury spell, and it's like, oh well, they were injured for that period of time, but then they come back, and these are dominant players. It's a very delicate situation. I actually like the international breaks that are spread out. Now they don't really come at opportune times. You're right, but I think, but I disagree with the whole 1 month thing.
Yeah, no, that's why it's always a debate. You got good points, Gianni, especially with the injuries. If your stars are injured, that 1 month for the national team, you might as well just not qualify for the World Cup. Usually we give yellow card and red card. I think collectively we could give a red card
to the attack.
To the attack?
To the Italy's attack, for sure.
Italy's attack or the Italian national team? What do you guys want?
I'm gonna say the attack.
We should go to VAR.
No, but I think the attack, because we all kind of touched upon positives that we saw from the national team side. I think the main common denominator was the attack that was lacking. So I would definitely give definitely the card for the Italy's attack.
So here's a red card for Italy's attack.
And it's a red card.
You're listening to the Calcio guys on CJO 1690. That's Lucas Castro, midfielder for Cagliari, with his Sole d'Estate song. And joining us today, Francesco Alberga, biology student here at Concordia. How's it going?
Hey, Nick, thank you for inviting me.
So, experimentation, is it a word?
Yes, it actually is a word, and my professors use it a lot. So, Gianni, you're not crazy. That is, you were actually right.
Okay, so...
I feel so happy about that. Thank you so much for saying that live.
Experimentation is a word, not like grammatics, as we discussed during commercial break.
For sure.
So, Francesco, you're the Inter fan. It's the first time we have an Interista on the show.
Yes.
So you're joined by top 4, Roma, Napoli, and Juve fan. So now we got the top 4 here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adriano.
Yeah. We're well represented now.
For sure.
So, okay, I got to ask you, as an Inter fan, Inter is well hated across Italy.
Definitely.
How does that make you feel? Sometimes, you go on social media, you see some of this hate, Is it almost like a us against versus the world mentality?
Oh, definitely. You can compare it to not the same way as Leipzig in Germany, because we didn't do the same things they did, or Chelsea. But we are definitely become that team that buys players, as right now we have problems with our financial fair play rule that we're going to have to solve for a few guys. But I could see it. We kind of put it on our back. We're out of the top 4, even top 5, we're the most hated. But you know what? Let's bring it on.
Give Roma back Yangolan, please.
No, we're gonna keep him. We're gonna keep him with his cigarettes. We're gonna keep him in the cigarettes.
Yeah. They don't hate.
Is he hurt right now?
Yeah, he got hurt. I believe it was his leg or his ankle, but he should be back for Frosinone coming up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, as you know, you are our first, I guess, Interista. What caught your eye about Inter? Why are you an Inter fan? If you want to just bring that, share to the world why you're an Inter fan.
I'm actually an Inter fan for more of a sentimental reason. As a little kid,
Excellent.
I went to my grandfather took me to Italy, and he came back and he bought me my Inter jersey. My first ever soccer jersey was an Inter jersey, and he passed away not too long after that.
My God, my condolences.
Thank you. That's.
Yeah, sorry for follow up for that. Was there like a player on the back of that jersey or?
It was Ronaldo.
Oh wow,
it was Ronaldo.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
Brazilian
for sure.
Ronaldo, amazing.
Yeah, if only he didn't get all those injuries, it would have been amazing. He would have stayed. He wouldn't have gone to Real Madrid. He would have just stayed with us.
So looking at this current edition of Inter, pretty good. You know what? Their start to the season wasn't so good.
Oh, definitely.
But they've been hot since. What have you seen from them this year?
We're definitely putting a lot less pressure on Icardi, especially with the addition of Martinez. That he, even on Icardi, he said it himself, like, our Martinez, we're always together. There's definitely that chemistry. But yeah, they also improved the midfield with Nainggolan, and even the back with Skriniar, definitely. And it just more of a balanced sheet. On paper, they're just a lot better.
So touching upon Icardi, what has been your opinion of him this season? Like we were very critical of him at the beginning because like we were like, okay, we know he's gonna score, but when? But now all of a sudden he's on his hot streak. So are you happy about it, or you feel like as if he can do better?
Definitely happy about it, but I find he always just leaves it until the last second. I don't know if you realize. I think in the last 4 or 5 games, it's always within the 80th minute or later. But even against Barcelona and everything, the 83rd, the 82nd, it gives us Interistas fans a kind of a bit of a few palpitations. But yeah, it's definitely a good goal scorer. I think what is his total now? I haven't checked in a while.
I think he has 7 or 6 or 7.
I could pull those stats
pull the numbers out.
But I've also got Perisic and Brozovic also carrying more of their weight this year. That's definitely it. It'd be a very shame if they let Perisic go. If they were trying to sell him out, he might be one of the reasons for their financial fair play sell-off.
He has 7 goals in 9 Serie A matches.
There we go.
Yeah, so I guess moving away from the league, what about Inter's finally again back in Champions League? That's a big thing for especially in Milano. How do you feel about how they've performed so far and their matchups, and what do you think? Are they going to get out of the group? Are they going to do well further on?
If they continue playing the way they played against PSG and Tottenham, 100%. They were very dominant. They had, I believe, over 50%, 60% possession almost against PSV. They were really bringing it forward. They could have, I think, scored 2 or 3 more goals. They just had their goalie. I can't say his name. He was just killing it. And even against Tottenham, it was a very deadlocked game, but hopefully we were able to get that final goal.
And even against Barcelona. It's a big game.
Yeah, that was a different story. The first game, I believe, I couldn't watch that game. It was really bad. Even the other one, the game, we managed to get a draw from a very lucky goal, but Barcelona could have totally scored 3-4 more goals. It was Suarez and Rafinha that were just not hitting the net.
True, but I did like their play. I guess against like a great team like Barcelona, so it's definitely positive.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They were able to, especially with such an attacking force, they were able to hold down the midfield and just draw them out more to the wing and just rely on crosses as well.
And so you talked about Brozovic and Perisic. Obviously, they played in the World Cup final.
Yes.
How much of a difference do you think that made for helping Inter this season in terms of their performance?
Oh, definitely see a great boost of play of both of them. Brozovic, last week, he was a little bit hot-headed, and he was making the second foul that got him the red. Definitely could have been avoidable. But overall, you've seen that experience that the game going and playing in the World Cup final gives you so much experience that it translates to all kind of play. And you really see it. They really hunkered down on the midfield. Perisic was way more comfortable moving up. He feeds Icardi well. The game against Milan, what a cross that was. That was.
Don't get me started, Francesco.
I'm getting started, but I'm gonna stop. I just wanted to drop that in. I had to.
I got $5 on AG. $5. Take your bets. $5.
I guess another talking point. Their defense has been pretty good. Handanovic obviously in goal, but the addition of Skriniar and now De Vrij partnering up in the back there. How do you like their play? Do you find it solid? How do you think they'll do in the future?
Oh, definitely. I love Skriniar, how he's comfortable with the ball and he's able to definitely bring it up. But I just gotta say from last week, Handanovic. If it wasn't for Handanovic, the last game Atalanta could have easily won 6-1, 7-1. It was really scary. That defense last week gave up a lot of holes.
Now, a question about moving more towards the bench. Spalletti, personally, from seeing his work with Roma, I actually liked him as a manager. But what is your opinion of him? Do you think the fans enjoy him as a manager? Do you think some people are just kind of angry that he's so a little bit inconsistent with the team?
Yeah, he definitely changed. He doesn't have always a consistent starting 11, but also it also explains how the depth we have, especially with the acquisitions we were given. But it's always consistent with Icardi. I like to see him try to put Martinez more of a second striker. He doesn't always put him up in front as much, pair him up. But with the one thing I would love to do is I like to see him Candreva play more, because Candreva has been very limited in his playing time. That's one of my biggest criticisms of him this year.
I remember at one point Candreva was actually on a very good tear. I think it was like 2 seasons ago or
yeah,
something.
Yeah, definitely.
When he was with Lazio.
Yeah,
Lazio. Even when he started with Inter, he took that winger, the right winger, role very well. He was giving what Perisic is doing now. That's the problem though. If he's on the left and him on the right, they were just giving him crosses, and Icardi did it. But then at one point the other teams just found out that strategy, and they just boxed them out.
At one point, Candreva was better at spitting than crossing. Remember?
let's not.
Remember what he did to the Lazio fans?
Yeah,
that was bad.
Disrespectful.
So look at this Inter team. Right now they're in third. That's 9 points. Quick math. 9 points behind Juve.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to be the anti-Juve. Do you think they've been fulfilling that role well this season?
In terms of anti-Juve, what do you mean? Like the
everything, challenging the title, being that number 2 team in Italy.
I assumed when I first started with the 1-0 loss and the 1-0 loss and the 1-1 draw against Torino, and who did they start the season off with? It was Sassuolo, I believe. Yeah, they lost 1-0 to Sassuolo and they tied. I thought, oh my God, it's the same thing like 2016. We're gonna finish 7th, 8th again. But then on the 6 game winning streak, I had high hopes. But then all of a sudden they dropped down. So I don't know. They've been showing a nice consistent streak, but I don't know. As an Inter fan right now, I'm a little scared. I'm sweating a bit.
You think they're maybe a bit too hot? They're gonna level out at some point.
Against Frosinone, I think they should. I'll see the game against Frosinone, because Frosinone can be surprising sometimes. They can definitely be good defensively, and they can break them down. I have high hopes for them. It's going to be a nice test this weekend.
So I guess, pushing away from Inter specifically, we were talking before about, obviously the national team, you being another Italian. What are your thoughts about the national team? Do you agree with us, disagree with us? How do you feel their play on these past games?
Oh, I definitely agree with you with the frustration. It's very frustrating to see how many missed opportunities they have, how they seem a lot better than they are on paper, but it just doesn't translate to on-field success.
That's well said, definitely.
You as an Inter fan, I know Inter doesn't like to develop young Italian players.
No, I don't
know. Hence their name.
That was the reason it's funny. Just a quick that's the reason why Inter Milan split, because I believe in the early 1900s, so a few Inter fans, well, it's Inter fans now. They wanted to bring some Swiss people to the team, and then what are now AC Milan players, the fans, they didn't want it. And that's what led to the split. So they always had a history of bringing in
Internazionale.
Internazionale, exactly. They have more of a history of bringing in outside players and putting them down. I would love to see them put in more younger guys, but a lot of their guys are all alone. I really don't know how that is.
How about a guy like Gagliardini? I mean, is there really any other Italian?
Oh, Gagliardini was an amazing acquisition.
Yeah.
It was.
They own, I think, Pinamonti for Frosinone, I think.
Yeah, and also Politano as a striker.
Oh, yeah, true. I forgot about him.
Yeah, he's got, I believe, 1 or 2 goals, so that's a good sign.
I would like to see him play more, at least for the national team. Yeah. Because he's actually had an amazing season at Inter.
But it's really going to be hard for him to leave that third spot on the depth chart to leap over. Like, even Martinez is going to be low, because Icardi has such that chemistry with him. And even on top of it, if Icardi, as you said before, we were talking about, if Icardi just happened to switch the nationality and just join Italy, we'd have a lot less striking problems right now.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think he can at this point. That's the unfortunate thing.
No, the moment you play for senior, you're locked in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would help definitely to have a player like Icardi on the national team, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And so, I mean, just looking at overall at the Serie A season, who's been the biggest surprise for you outside of Inter Milan? Players, teams?
I don't know.
Anybody that comes to mind?
Sassuolo has been I don't know. I thought it'd be higher now. What are they now? Sassuolo is what now?
They're in 7th with 19 points. That was Roma, so it's good.
I was thinking that Sassuolo, this thing with all the development they've been doing, they thought at least they crack Europa spot. That's if they don't crack, that'll be my. not a surprise right now, but a future surprise if they don't crack Europa. I'll be very surprised.
Sassuolo.
Yeah.
Even at 7.
Even at
it's
7.
not a surprise. I mean, you look at the standings. You got Atalanta and Fiorentina behind them. Torino and Parma aren't too far behind. So, yeah, but I think it's fair. I mean, Sassuolo, tied? Was it tied into or beat them?
They beat us, unfortunately, but they showed Bernardi. He stretched out the defense hard. He could have gotten. He had a nice chance. I remember watching that game. He had a nice chance where he just missed an open net. Could have made it 2-0. Could have changed the game completely.
Yeah, no, I even going back, even Fiorentina, I think would be another surpriser.
So we're almost reaching January. We're about a month and a half away, so we'll have a small transfer window open. So, and you were discussing before that Inter might have to face an issue with FIFA fair play.
Yeah.
Who do you think if A, they're going to be probably selling somebody during that transfer window, and B, if they do, who do you think which player do you think is going to get replaced?
Oh, it's not a matter of who. It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of who they're selling, because I believe they need to get rid of, I think, 50 million euros off their books.
That's a heavy amount.
That's a heavy amount. There was even a release that came out now recently that Perisic, the price tag of Perisic was going to be 31 million pounds to go to Manchester United.
That's it.
That 31 million pounds. That's about 50 million euros.
Oh, okay.
Pounds.
Yeah.
No.
For Perisic?
For Perisic.
I'd pay more for him, or I'd ask for more.
We'd ask for more, but United.
You're gonna get it.
But they know that Inter's desperate to sell, so they're not gonna go for that high ball price. They're gonna lowball them as much as they can.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
But another person I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose, Gabigol. He was a very big disappointment. He almost got us a bit of trouble, which also shows that how we like to bend the rules a bit. How when they sold, I believe it was when they sold Neymar, Santos had a pick of 3 players, and Gabigol was one of those 3. So Barcelona had rights to negotiate first, and Inter came in. It's like, hey, we want him, and they just, I don't know what they did, what kind of money they did to start a shady business.
That shows the snake side in them. I don't know. I might just have to add that in.
But it's okay though. It's against Barca. Those snakes stole Malcolm from Roma, so you know what? I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, thanks for coming on, Francesco.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
That's gonna be the first and last time we have an Inter fan on. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I gotta represent.
Yeah. We gotta have different representation. We have Milan, Juve, Bologna, Inter. Who's next? We need someone from Lazio.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I think I know a guy.
You know a guy. Anyways, you're listening to the Calcio guys on CJO 6090.
Hello?
CJLO, like that super swell scoop.
Roll.
I love that.
I don't know why.
I love that. I actually got the Italy-USA game pulled up right now. Bonucci is captain, which I really don't like at all. But regardless, I'd like to see a good Italian team come out of this. I believe it's in Germany.
No, Belgium.
Belgium,
yeah.
It's questionable, but whatever.
Yeah.
So looking to the Serie A now. We got Serie A's back. I actually missed it over the weekend. It was different preparing for the show when we really only had one game to talk about versus 16 the week before, the Champions League and all that. And so this week, 2 big games. Derby della Lanterna between Genoa and Sampdoria.
Yeah.
That's on Sunday at 2:30.
Yeah.
And then Milan-Lazio is actually right before at 12. So you actually got a good weekend. I mean, besides that, Udinese-Roma, Juve-Spal, but those 2 games are big.
Whoa. Napoli-Chievo, man. Come on.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Ventura back at the San Paolo. I'll like to see that.
That guy, I don't know how he walks in Italy.
Right,
I don't
I'm
understand.
saying Ventura. He resigned. Well,
I was about to say, didn't he just resign last week?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if they named the replacement or if Chievo allowed him to. I don't know the situation. Whatever it is. Between Lazio, Milan, and Genoa, Sampdoria, what's your game of the week?
I'm probably going to go with the Derby della Lanterna just because, I don't know, Milan is so broken. The lineup is going to be pretty wishy-washy. I would assume Gattuso's going to have to really work some sort of magic over there in Milano there. But I don't know. I'm going to probably say that because, it's a derby and I guess, it's got maybe a bit more means, for those teams respectively. So I'm going to go with the Genoa Samp game.
I'm going to go with Lazio-Milan. You got 2 very strong teams going up against each other, and it's probably, in terms of matchups, it's probably the strongest of the matchups compared to all these teams because each team you see there's a parity between the one team versus the other, whereas this one you can kind of feel like it can go either way. And both teams have that potential to score those goals. Even though Milan is very depleted, Gattuso still manages to find ways to find results. So
yeah,
I think that's
they're close in the standings too. Sorry to cut you off there.
No,
they're close in the
fine.
standings as well. So
you're fine.
I would definitely probably agree with that.
My game of the week definitely has to be Parma Sassuolo. Yeah,
that's a good game.
You never know,
man. You never know.
No, that actually is, but it's a 6:30 game.
So I don't know who's going to be watching.
Parma fans in Italy and Sassuolo fans in Italy.
Yeah, definitely not me.
Do you think there are Parma fans here in North America?
I don't know, Parmalat. I don't know. We have Parmalat over here, so maybe.
Yeah, right down the street off St. Jacques.
Yeah, there you go.
Right near the campus.
So maybe.
I don't. Italy almost had a scoring chance. And
Shocking.
Ooh, and we missed.
Yeah, well, I should put the laptop somewhere else. It's just facing me. But in all seriousness, if you're a Parma fan, please call 514-848-7471. We'd like to talk to you.
Shameless plug.
That's a interesting story.
Definitely.
You're a Parma fan or Sassuolo fan in North America. But okay, so out of the big teams, so Juventus plays Spal, Roma plays Udinese, Inter plays Frosinone, and like we said, Napoli plays Chievo. Do you see any upsets this weekend?
I don't think so. I mean, there shouldn't be.
I want a Spal upset. Damn it! I want Juve to lose.
It's in Torino, so no.
I mean, like maybe a crazy tie, but I really honestly I don't think so. All these teams are on top for a reason. They're playing a lot of the lower end teams, I guess you can say. So I don't think any upsets. I don't know. Just I guess a jab to Francesco, maybe Frosinone, maybe I don't know. Just maybe like a tie or something. But I think all the big dogs should get it done on the weekend.
If there's going to be one upset this weekend, it's going to be Udinese over Roma.
Yeah.
If there's going to be one upset,
yeah. I mean,
in terms of the big teams,
that's fair to say.
And I'm not saying that to bash you, Gianni, but
that's fair to say.
Udinese coming in with a new coach, Davide Nicola, and
they're a decent team. It's not as if they're a bad team. They're a pretty good team. They have flashes of brilliance. We've seen it before.
It's in Udine. That's the thing too.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the road for Roma, and we've seen them. They're very inconsistent in league play.
Roma, you're talking? Yeah. But even Udinese, they've been a total disappointment, and we've kind of touched upon that a lot this for these shows. But
for sure,
I don't know. These teams, I think, are equal in how inconsistent they've been this season. So it should be maybe a good matchup, I would say.
Bologna, Fiorentina, more of a historic and geographical battle than an actual good soccer battle. They're not too far from each other.
Yeah.
Tuscany and Emilia Romagna.
Mm-hmm.
Empoli, Atalanta. Empoli, they've started to pick it up. I'm interested into what they could do against this Atalanta team, who they also have started to pick it up.
Caputo's been amazing for Empoli.
Ciccio, he's been good.
Did you see? There was a picture. I think it was Calcio Brutti who posted it. Ciccio Caputo was holding his phone up to his ear, and his case is Caputo 11.
Is it? Yo, that's when you know, man. You're a G. You're a god like that. Man. That's great. You're a legend.
And so the caption was like, in Italian, the humbleness of Ciccio Caputo.
For sure. For sure. Respect for him.
So I guess we'll do our predictions of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Udinese Roma. What does Roma have to do to win this?
Basically, Roma, like I said many times before, if it's not Dzeko scoring, it's El Shawari. If it's not El Shawari, it's Undef. So I think Roma might actually come out with the win on this. I say a 2-1 win for Roma.
Do you think they put out their normal 11? You think maybe they mix it up?
I think they're no, they should be putting up a regular lineup. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that's injured or a bit rusty.
Well, don't forget there is Champions League next week too.
Yeah, so I think it's probably gonna be a mixed lineup, but still their bench is decently deep. So
yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll probably stick with Roma as well. I'll give it a 2-0 win for Roma.
Juve hosts Spal right after the Saturday.
What about your prediction, Nick? You forgot.
Oh yeah. I said if there's gonna be one upset, it's gonna be this game. So I'm not going for a win. I'm going for a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Udinese Spal. I mean,
Juve Spal, no?
Juve Spal.
Oh, sorry.
This guy's not even a fan. I don't know.
Wrong black and white team. Spal, if they're gonna have to win this, if they want to win this, they're gonna have to play like they did at the beginning of the season. No. Like they did at the beginning of the season, where Gomis was standing on his head, and then they were getting goal scoring from Antonucci. Good defense from Sionek on the other end. It's it's going to be tough for Spal, especially in Torino. I say a 2-0 Juventus win.
I say that eventually Juve's offense is going to pry open that Gomes mystery, and I think they might actually win 3-0. As great as Gomes has been,
Well, he hasn't been too good the past few weeks.
no, but overall he's been a solid goalkeeper. So, but I think Juve might actually come out with a nice dominant 3-0 win.
I'm gonna probably agree with Nicholas. I would probably say another 2-0 victory for Juve. It would be nice to see Spal, perform like they did earlier on in the season. But as of late, they've been, kind of on a downer. So I'll stick with the 2-0 victory for Juve.
So Inter hosts Frosinone. I don't think an upset's happening there. That's the Saturday 2:30 game. I say 3-0 Inter.
I'm going for a 3-1 Inter.
I'll stick 3-0 as well.
So Parma Sassuolo. So we touched upon this before. This could actually be a good game. Gervinho, I mean, he's been kind of down. Do you think it's time that he kind of explodes again?
Well, Gervinho is not their number one guy, but he just for some reason he just appears out of nowhere and he just scores these wonderful goals. So if Sassuolo doesn't properly mark him, then yeah, he's probably going to score. But then again, that's Gervinho's tactic. He just lies under the radar a little bit and then just surprises you with a flash of brilliance. But I think that game's probably going to be a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. I don't know. I agree with the Gervinho. He could come on anytime and produce and really give the opposing teams a scare. But for this one, I don't know. Sassuolo and Parma both have been good. But I'm probably gonna stick with a draw as well. I'm gonna go. I'll go 2-2 draw.
Parma and Sassuolo, that's fair. I'll go 1-1. Chiesa just missed wide, by the way.
No, of course.
He's already had a few chances so far. So out of the other games, we got a couple more minutes. So Bologna-Fiorentina. This is in Bologna. I could see Fiorentina coming away with a 1-0 win.
1-0. I'll go 2-0.
2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Napoli hosts Chievo. Big upset here. 5-0 Chievo. No, I'm kidding.
I was about to slap you.
I would have loved to see that.
Gianni reaches over.
A nice backhand.
Yeah.
A nice shot.
Jadana bot.
Yo.
Napoli Chievo. 4-0 Napoli.
Well, I don't think that high. I would say 3-0 Napoli.
Wow, I'm praising Napoli more than you.
I know, but I don't think they're going to get that hot and score 4 goals.
Would you say 4-0?
Yeah. It's Chievo.
Yeah, I know.
It's at home.
It's a must-win. My Uncle Franco told me it's a must-win as well. I'm going to stick 4-0 as well. They're going to absolutely dominate, and they're going to crush Chievo.
Blue on blue, Empoli versus Atalanta. In Empoli.
Yeah.
2-1.
Can I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
2-1 Atalanta. Papu Gomez scores at least one of the goals, and Mancini scores the other.
Wow, okay. Well, I was
That's
going to get
fair.
that specific, but yeah, I was going to say 2-1 Atalanta as well.
2-1 Atalanta. I'm going to go... I'll go 2-1 as well. We'll all share this one.
We should all have something different just for our little spreadsheet, our little predictions.
Yeah, you're right.
By the way, 2 weeks ago, I killed it. I got 26 points out of the
damn.
possible 40 of our little system. And then last week, we all got less than 10.
Oh, wow.
It shows, man. It shows.
Lazio Milan in Rome. I say Lazio 2-0. Just because of Milan's depleted defense.
That's it's fair. I don't want to see another loss. I want them to score a goal. Hopefully, come on, we need something. We need it. But in all seriousness, they do have a depleted squad. But I would like at least a draw. I'm gonna go 1-1.
3-2 Lazio for me.
3-2, okay. Derby della Lanterna. That's going to be a fun one. I always like watching this one. Genoa hosts Sampdoria, so Genoa is technically the home team in this one. I say 3-1 Sampdoria. They're strides ahead of Genoa at this point.
That's fair. I'm going to go, would you say 3-1? 3-1?
Yeah.
I'll go 3-2. Kwame and maybe Piontek there gets back on the scoring sheet.
3-2 Genoa or Sampdoria?
Sampdoria.
Okay.
And I'm going to go for the dark horse pick here. I'm going to say a 0-0 draw.
Oh, no.
You want some diversity? There you go.
Yeah. And then lastly, quickly, Cagliari Torino.
I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw as well.
I'll say 2-1 Cagliari. So I'll do it for us here at the Calcio guys, for Adreano Di Nardo, Gianni Delli, for Francesco Alberga, for the Italian national team too, I guess. We're playing right now. Go watch that game.
Sure.
They're playing against the United States in Belgium. Not too exciting.
Yeah.
Forza Azzurri, I guess.
Forza Azzurri,
Forza Azzurri.
keep on watching, keep on listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
Ciao.